Hi everyone, how are you doing? Hello Donna, how are you? Long time no speak.
Hi Matt, how are you, stranger? I'm good. Hi everybody, hope you're okay.
Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Hopefully you know the drill by now. Hopefully you can see us okay and you can hear us and you're excited. We'll wait a few minutes before we get started. But hopefully you're all feeling good. How are you feeling today, Donna?
I'm really good, Matt. I have to say though, you look very smug. You look like you're having a particularly good day.
I've just had a banana, so I've got my potassium gains up. If that's a thing, but
yeah, Matt's recently started pumping iron quite frequently. So it's not long before we get a gun show, I think, on a webinar.
That's not yet. Maybe
getting
a few
his guns
months.
out. Yeah,
maybe a few months time. Next time you see me on site training, you'll be like, "Oh, I don't recognise you, Matt."
Oh,
that's the dream, anyway.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Cool. So guys, today's session is all about the live lists. Myself and Donna have got a really, really nice session planned for you today. Donna, how long are you thinking? 20 minutes, 25 minutes? Not a long session, is it?
Maybe 20. I mean, I almost feel like it's a bit of a cop-out doing the live list. It's everyone's favourite feature. It's one that we could talk about till the cows come home. But it doesn't take long really for us to explain it. But I feel like we've got off lightly today, Matt. No rehearsal needed for this one.
Absolutely. Guys, again, just while we wait, hopefully you're logging in, you can see us okay. In terms of the format for today's session, so you can hopefully see us on the left and hear us, and on the right, you've got a chat box. So do feel free, come in, let us know where you're dialing in from, let us know how you're feeling, really engage with us if you can on the chat. And we've got a team of moderators, as normal, answering away your questions.
Yeah, it can get quite lonely up here, right? We need some audience
Talk
participation.
Yeah. Just while we wait, guys, to introduce ourselves, my name's Matt. I'm our head of customer success here at Vincere, based in London, and be running the session today with Donna.
Hi everybody. Forgot to do the intro bit. It's quite important, isn't it? I'm Donna. I am based in London with Matt as well, and we'll be interrupting him a lot today. Matt's going to drive the session, and I'm just going to.
You're my co-pilot.
Yeah, that's a nice way of putting it.
Cool. So in terms of today's session, guys, all about the live list. So we're just basically going to go through what the live list is, how you can use it, why you should use it, the real sell, particularly the sell for your clients and the USP and all the added value you can get from the live list. The live list is a tool that we have as part of the core platform. So there's no reason why every single person on this call today shouldn't be using it for at least some of their clients, or trialing it, or, it's a shame not to use it because it's a really nice piece of tech. So as you can see, we're going to go through how we can go upload CVs, videos, empower your clients, arrange interviews, things like championing diversity. And then Donna's favorite bit, what have we got at the very end, Donna?
So we've got a little prize for you today, or a little present for you. I'm not going to give too much away now. You'll have to stick around till the end of the webinar to see what we've got in store. But I was super excited when Matt showed me what he's been putting together for this one. And I think you'll see from the agenda, and also as we move through the session, and for those of you who use a live list, it's one of the very few features where we talk to you about your customers and their experience. So that's what we're really going to focus on, is the value that you can add to your customers through the value that we add to you guys. I'm quite passionate about this. So I've been on your end client shoes. So I used to run a talent division, and I have to say, Matt and I were chatting about this the other day, I have to say that if a recruitment business was to submit their shortlist to me in the way that you're able to do with the live list, that PSL would have got very small very quickly. So I'm a big believer in how you can use this to really gain advocacy with your end customers.
Perfect. Cool. Right, guys, hopefully you're all in. Hopefully you can see us and hear us. Donna, are you ready?
I have never been more ready, Matt.
Okay, perfect. Let's jump into it, guys. So it is also being recorded, guys, so don't panic if you miss a bit or the phone goes. You can watch the recording afterwards. But essentially, today's session, we're gonna sit on 2 pages. We're gonna sit inside Vincere on the job screen, as you can see here, which is now me as the agency, as the recruiter, and we're also going to switch between the live list screen as well, which is what your client sees. What we're going to do, we're just going to start on a job inside Vincere. So we're going to go to the Chief Marketing Officer role, top one here, click through to it. And then hopefully, as you're all aware, this is the Vincere job screen. I'm going to dive straight into the shortlist. So you can see here, I've got 6 candidates in here. Well, look, there you go, Donna, you've popped up on my shortlist. How did that happen?
I usually do.
And of course, guys, remember, don't forget, you've also got your custom columns. So remember this view here, you can look and, you can tweak this, you can get the look and feel right. You can make sure you see what you care about in the screen. And I can see here, I've got various candidates. I've got some status here. I've got some sub statuses, and then they're basically ready to go. So now I can send these over to my client. In terms of how I do this, dead easy. All you do, check the box against the top. Let's say you want to take a candidate out. So maybe I won't take Wendy in there. So check the box against all those candidates. Simply go across to send, top right-hand corner. And do you want to send attachments? Do you want to send CVs or videos, things like that? Well, yes, I do. So I just hit yes, and then next. Essentially, there's 2 parts to driving the live list now. So there's the candidate list where you choose things like names, file names, notes. And then the second tab is the email, making sure the email looks nice, you tweak the look and feel, things like that. So what I'll do, Donna, should we just hide all the employers for the candidates?
Yeah, that's important actually. If you're using this to not submit via a job, maybe you're just trying to show your clients a section of the market or trying to spec candidates to them. If you wanted to take off their details, whether it be their name or the current employer, then you're able to do at this stage.
Yeah, and as you can see, guys, really easy. You can just tweak this per candidate. Then we go across to file names. Then we can go through and attach files in here. So I'll attach Brian's CV. Donna, have you got a nice CV on here? Which is your best CV?
You can use that top. You can use that BD. Yeah, whichever.
Cool. We've got Gwen Stefani. She's always in our training sessions. We've got Josh. There's Josh's CV. And again, what's quite nice about this, you can actually see which files you're sharing depending on the file type you've been sharing. So you can straight away, you can see that's a CV. Click through, and then for Robbie, we'll go through and do a CV as well. One really important thing here, which we added, guys, probably about 4 months ago now, which is still relatively new, is if you want to sense check the CV before you send it, you can just left click, and that will open up the CV. It looks really nice. Make sure you're sending the right document. And then when you've sense checked that, press the X, and then you're back where you were. So that was probably one of our most requested features, but we do listen, and there it is in there. So make sure you
those little things, isn't it, like that? Previously to that, you'd have had to go into the candidate record just to make sure that was the right document. Yeah. It's those little tweaks that just save you over the course of a month, hours and hours.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got the CVs, got the files, and then, for example, what we've got now is the notes. So we can go through and we can put executive brief in here, executive brief, brief. We'll put them in for all of them, which is just a nice way for me to write 2-3 lines of a summary for the candidate in here. One thing I forgot to add in, there's another document in here somewhere, Donna.
No, it's in a different column. I think you need to sort your admin settings at the end.
Oh, okay. I've got my admin settings wrong. I'll add that one in at the end. Thanks for reminding me.
That's okay. I was waiting until you stopped talking.
We've got all of the candidates. We've got the file names. We've got the brief. When we're happy, hit next. That then takes you into the email template itself. So again, that's fully branded here with logos. You can go, that logo is absolutely massive, Donna. But again, you can change all of this.
That big. That's what you get for doing it live.
In the settings. Again, you can make this smaller right now if you want, or you can just put a smaller logo in at the very beginning on the email template. That creates this live list there. You can check all the executive briefs right. You're just sense checking to making sure you're happy before you share this with the client. You've got a preview, bottom left-hand corner if you like, and then when you're happy, all you do is hit send. So Donna, are we ready to hit send?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Cool, perfect. So guys, that's now sent. So in Vincere, automatically that moves those candidates into the sent stage. We can now see that 5 candidates have been sent. That fires off an email to the client. And essentially what the client sees now is a thing called the live list, okay? So in terms of how we can easily get to the live list as a recruiter to check that it looks okay and make sure we're happy with it, we can go to the middle right-hand corner where it says live list, left click, and then go to live list. And essentially that now takes you straight into the live list, what you can see here. And over to you, Donna, to explain the power of the live list.
Yeah, so firstly, this looks beautiful on mobile. And so your clients, if they're on the move, they don't need to wait till they get back into the office to open this up on their desktop. They can see that you've sent them an email and it's just a simple green button, bang, straight in, and they can view this on their mobile phone. It's a really nice experience for them. As you can see in the top left, Matt has chosen to add the client's logo onto the live list. So it's just a bit of an extra sweetener for them. It can be a really nice touch, makes them feel like this is for them, and just adds to that kind of added value piece. You can, if you want to, select to have your own logo on there. So in a second, Matt's going to show you some admin settings where you can change the settings of your live list. And in there, you can select to have your own logo or your client's logo. And you can change that on a case-by-case basis if you wanted to. You can see that all Matt's details are across the top. So we want to make sure that we're getting his name across to the client as much as possible. There's some details about the job, and then all the candidates are there down the left-hand side. You'll see the button new means that this candidate has just been sent. So this is truly live, this live list. So essentially, as a recruiter, if I was to remove somebody now, they'd disappear from the list. And if I added somebody else new, they'd get added to the list. So going back to that client experience, I've only ever got one link. So I know, sitting in that seat, how powerful that would be for me not to be having files and files of CVs. I think I used to have folders in my Outlook for different agencies on the PSL and the CVs that they'd sent. I'm not saying your clients still do that, but this is so far light years beyond that, just all on one link. So next to the candidates, you have the documents that you sent across. So that's where you could open up the CV, and the column that Matt didn't choose, sadly, but is there available for you, as you can see, is the video column. So if Matt would have selected that, we could add their Vinneo. For those guys that have taken video interviewing by the horns and are using our video product, Vinneo, you can actually have your candidates create a video CV, video profile, and also attach that as well. So you might choose to just use the Vinneo, or you might choose just the document. It's entirely up to you. Obviously, you've got the job title, etc. But across here, you can choose which columns you're going to submit. So you don't have to have the substatus, for instance. You don't have to have the stage. You don't have to have the received date and time. You can choose, just in the same way as you can set up your own smart views, you can set up a smart view for your clients and what they see. And then finally, those executive briefs that Matt selected, they're all there on the left-hand side. So without them even going into the CV, they've got a substatus, which gives them a punchy bit of information about that client, about that candidate, and also that executive brief, so they can get a flavour for them before they go ahead and open up their documents. But I'll leave you to Matt to say what your clients can do from here once they've had a look at the list.
Yeah, great explanation, Donna. You can tell you're a salesperson. Now I'll go and I'll train it. But as Donna mentioned, guys, hopefully you'll agree, even this screen now, it's just very clean. It's just very, very clean. It's very clear as a client, hopefully, what I need to do. And essentially, if I really like the look of the candidates, if I like the look of, say, Gwen, I can check the box now as the client, and then automatically the actions button appears. So I can arrange an interview, I can reject the candidate, I can keep in view, or I can message the recruiter, okay? So I can go through, for argument's sake, let's just arrange an interview. And then really, really simple, I can add time slots here. So I can add up to 5 time slots, my availability, any notes I want to add, and all of that streams straight back into Vincere in real time. Again, the client doesn't have to do this if they don't want. Some candidates they might, some candidates they might not, but it does give them the option if they want to from here. I can also uncheck the box. I can click into the candidate. So I can go through and I can click Gwen Stefani. I can see the executive brief here. I can see the application. And again, I can either reject her, progress her, or rate the candidate, and so if I want to as well. So it's a really, really nice way to interact with the candidates. The client can also filter. So they can come through here. They can filter by any KIV. And hopefully, quick quiz for anyone on the call that's been through the Vincere Training Academy. Anybody know what KIV stands for? Hopefully, we're getting people typing in the chat now to see what it stands for. But that stands for keep in view. So that's where, for example, I can come through. I really like the look of Josh. I can then keep in view, and that essentially just almost creates a bookmark. It changes.
Hey, get off him! Get off him! He's mine.
It's coming to my team next.
No way, never.
So what I can now do as a client, I can go through, maybe there's 20 candidates there and I want to keep in view 5 or 6, or in this case, it's Josh. And then I can just filter now by keep in view. And then if I filter, that will just show me all the candidates where I flagged as keep in view. So it's a really, really nice interface for the clients. And then the exact same as you guys have got inside the Vincere Core platform, if you left click and reset, that brings everything back in to the system. Anything else to add, do you think, for here, Donna?
No, it's just to elaborate on things that I always smile, Matt, when you just kind of, you go past things as though they are, because we're so used to seeing them every day, and I can't help but tie them back to the value for our recruiters, and just things like being able to arrange interviews through here. So in the chat, how many of you link discounts to interview slots, right? So you might say to the client, right, they want a bit of a discount, or that you want to get something back from them. You might say to them, look, okay, that's fine, but we want you to give us 5 interview slots in the live list. So you can actually start to tie this to commercial elements of your project. So I think that's super powerful. And don't forget that requesting interview through the live list, this is intrinsically linked to your core system. So everything's happening now in real time back in the core system. And so once those interviews are arranged, that's then going to go all the way back into your linked calendar. So I think I say this on every webinar, but in Vincere, everything is everything. So you press a button and there's an impact in 10, 11 other places within the system. So not that you brush past it, Matt, but I just wanted to kind of bring that back and say how powerful that can be as a small feature. And just one other thing, something that I get asked a lot on demos, so I'll bring it up now. We do get a few customers that are, most Vincere customers love this, right? They're more than happy to embrace whatever tech and whatever innovation we throw at them. That's why they're our customers. Their customers, on the other hand, aren't necessarily ready for all of this, all this technical nonsense, and they just want a CV on an email. So if anyone's thinking, yeah, I like it, but if we did have a client that was adverse to hitting that green button and was just a little bit frightened, can we still have a PDF on an email? Yes, the answer is you can, but let's try and get them on the train if we can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important. And just to add to that, there isn't like one size fits all solution to this. If we go back to Vincere now at the very beginning and we looked at, checking the box, sending those candidates, in theory now, this whole stage is just the normal CV send. You get an email here, you attach the files, job done. If the client does want to engage, and if you sell them enough to engage, they get to hit the green button and the live list starts. But yeah, don't panic. We're not replacing email or PDFs. It's just a really added value to here. Final few bits on the live list itself from a client perspective is you've got a stats view here as well. Really, really nice one. So your client can click stats and they can view how many candidates are in the list. They can view how many are active, things like employer spread. So, how many employers are we getting candidates from, last activity date, last activity by, again, all updating in real time. Hence why we called it the live list. And the final one is actually there's 2 more probably. The penultimate one is forward list internally. So this is really nice where if you're going through tiered hiring stages, so you need to forward it on to somebody else in the food chain, you can actually go through, you can remove rejected candidates. As far as to remove a candidate now and reject a candidate, I can check this box. I can forward this on to a colleague or somebody else in the business. And now that essentially just sends the list again. So it keeps sending it through the food chain, but it's cutting people out as you're sending it. It's quite a nice bit of functionality you have here, which again, you just don't get that really with emails.
And this is the client right now. So this is your end user that's having this ability to be able to have the power. So you're passing the baton to them and allowing them to pass that on throughout the business. But let's face it, as much as we love that you're going to be delighting your customers, we're there to delight you. So what does the recruitment business get out of all of this, all of these lovely features, Matt, and the ability to see stats and the ability to forward the list on?
Yeah, so the nice thing about this, guys, is as soon as this list is forwarded, it captures who it's being forwarded to. So for example, if I'm Denise now, I'm the contact, and we go through and send this to, I don't know, Jeremy, whoever, that will then tell the recruiter who that's been sent to. So again, you can capture who it's been sent to. It's your information in Vincere. It's a really nice way to capture that. And again, like I said at the beginning, it's just something you don't get on email. As soon as you send an email, your IP has gone out the door and you can't really track that at any point. Cool. One final thing that we've just kind of brushed over is languages. We can put this in all these different languages and we haven't really touched on it, but you put it in German, Dutch, Espanol, Japanese, Chinese, and English straight away out the box. So again, if you are working in an international framework, your client can come through and change the language in the click of a button, which is really, really powerful.
Do you know what? Didn't know that.
Every day is a school day, you see.
I do love these webinars. I usually come away learning one or two things. So if we head back into the core system then, so that now I take it, if I go back into that job and I go to my stats there, what can I see in there?
So if we go in stats here now, we can then see
I
things
love
like
this.
candidates, live list views, last viewed date, and then who last viewed it as well. Again, really powerful. So it's closing that feedback loop without having to speak to anybody. It's like all happening in real time. And
like
Denise
having
has
that
been busy,
crystal ball,
19
isn't
views.
it? So we know that Denise is loving the live list. We know that she's really engaged, super engaged with the candidates. And the beautiful thing is, the kind of the cherry on top of the cake is that every time she opens this, or one of her colleagues, you're going to get a notification. So instead of, you know, the old times where, there it was, instead of the old days where it's like, oh, right, okay, I'll send the CVs, I'll give them a couple of hours, I'll go and have a brew, and I'll come back and I'll give them a call. Now you're putting that call in just at the right time. You might not want to tell them you got that feature. They'll just think that you're super consultative and you really know your stuff.
Yeah, oh, hello, just checking you got the live list. Oh, weird, I was just on it just a second
just
ago.
on it then. Yeah, I probably
Weird.
don't make that obvious. Maybe go and make that brew and come back.
So they're the main kind of takeaways for the live list itself. In terms of, back to you guys as the recruiters of the agency, how do we set it up? How do we configure it? So we've looked at how to send candidates. In terms of actually configuring that live list, and as Donna mentioned at the start, really, really configurable. It's all driven from within the job. So you can see here, middle right-hand corner, you've got live list here, and you've got an option called live list settings. So that's where you can come through and you can define what this looks like per job or per company. And essentially we can do things like we can hide the candidate's photo, maybe job title, maybe let's show their current company, executive brief, and all you do is toggle on and off. So in real time, I can go through and I can build this list for my client. And as you can see, there's absolutely all sorts here that you can toggle off or toggle on in real time. We can theme it. So again, like we're doing now, we can share the jobs company logo, we can share our company logo. Maybe we've got various brands in Vincere and we can share those brand logos. Really, really configured, various colors in here. And then finally, also security. So if you would like to password protect the live list, obviously they're your candidates you're sharing out in the World Wide Web. Feel free to put a password on as well. And then you can set those up per job. All my passwords came up there. Better close that off quickly.
I know. That's a good screenshot.
Get into all my secrets. So you can set these up per job as well. So go through and hit save. So that's how you do it from the job. You can also do it, guys, from the admin settings. If you didn't want to have to go through and every consultant, every recruiter sets it up per job, you can do it as an admin in the back end. So all you need to do is go into your settings, into your bottom left-hand corner, right the way up to admin settings, down to number 10, live list settings. And again, you're presented here with the exact same options we saw a second ago, but now these are global. So if I make a change in here now, that will affect every single live list inside Vincere. It won't just affect the one I'm working on. You've still got the settings, you've got the theme configuration, you've got the security for the passwords, and then when you're happy, just hit save. Nice and simple. Guys, any questions coming through, feel free to put them in the chat. Appreciate we're covering quite a lot of stuff, but and let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you want to try it. A question will pop up in a second. Do you like the look of it? Do you want to try it? Do you not want to try it? Let us know what you think.
What are you guys finding, Matt, when it comes to setting the settings on a global basis versus the job? Do most people prefer to set them for the business and then don't have permissions for recruiters to change them, or do you find that most people are preferring to do it job by job?
No, definitely the former. So I think for the brand, it's easier and the most preferred way that customers are doing it is from the admin settings, get a very standard unifying format. And then essentially the recruiter might be able to tweak it on the job, tweak maybe a few little things, but really for the brand at least, do it from the admin settings for globally. Yeah,
I think there's also a bit of a misconception that this is for, the world of executive search, and it does work really well for those kind of high value roles, particularly now that we've put the password protect in there and all of the different ways that you can configure to make it more secure. But we have many temp agencies that use a live list. It can be, showcasing the top 10 temps of the week. You don't have to do it submitting a shortlist. There's lots of different ways to use this and showcase your candidates, your best assets, if you like, to your client base. And you can do that in bulk as well. You could share to a whole distribution list of contacts. So what we're showing you here is the classic way to use the live list, and it's the best way for us to show you all of the different features, like all of the different configuration and everything else. But don't feel as though, if you're on the webinar and you do temp or contract, don't feel as though it's not for you, because it really is for everybody.
Absolutely. And Donna, while you were talking then, I've redeemed myself. Look what I've got on the screen. I've got a video on there.
You couldn't face yourself otherwise, could you?
Couldn't leave this webinar without it.
I resembled the the face palm emoji when I saw that it wasn't there. So yeah, I mean, there's your video. Yes, this is brilliant. This is me earlier. Yeah, if you click that button, guys, your client can see the candidate CV and also the video of the candidate as well. So did I say candidate? I meant client. Can see the CV and the video of the candidate side by side, so they can be listening to the answers and reading the actual CV. So pretty cool.
I love this. It's so slick as well. And again, this whole screen now, as the client, all I do, I click through. I've got all the candidates we just saw a second ago. I can click through to the video. As Donna mentioned, you've got the CV, but also any other documents you've chosen to share. So it might be a cover letter. It might be some sort of questionnaire or test of some sort. You've got the questions below. You've got the candidate waving and smiling at you. It's just such a nice, and also it's web optimized, right? It's just such a nice space to see everything in one screen. And it's password protected. It's like, what more do you want? It's the power.
Can I just give our customers a bit of advice? Don't get your candidates to do a video where you say wave at me. I was just actually get them to answer some questions.
Should we play it again? Let's play it again.
It's just an example. I couldn't be bothered to answer the question. What was the question? What makes you you? I was like,
what makes you you, Donna? Go on. Give us 5 seconds.
No. I'm just gonna wave at you. Yeah, I'm glad you showed that, Matt, because it wouldn't have been the same without it.
I always redeem myself. Don't worry about that. Even on a live session, still managed to redeem myself.
I know. Impressive.
Okay, cool. So, guys,
right, I mentioned the treat, didn't I? I've not said the treat.
I've not mentioned the treat.
So normally all you get if you attend one of mine and Matt's webinars is the amazing knowledge bombs which you receive over the course of the 20 minutes. But we've got something extra this time. And at this, I've been crying out for this because I get it. I understand that, it looks great, the live list, but sometimes it's difficult to integrate it into your process and have your customers accept it. So, and I've always been banging on about that. And Matt and his team have put together a toolkit, which I just think is absolutely winning. So I'll hand over to Matt to explain exactly what it is.
Yeah, thanks, Donna. So hopefully, guys, I'm really interested in your feedback for this. It's the first time we've done anything like this. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to sell a Vincere feature to you. We're trying to train you on it so you get the most out of it. But then we're really trying to help you now pitch this and position this to your clients. And hopefully this is what the toolkit will do. So everybody that's joined today's session or watches the recording will receive this to their inbox either straight after the session or a few days later. And it includes 4 key materials. So the first one is a LiveList slide deck. So it's a fully branded, a very slick looking slide deck where essentially you'll configure that for your brand. You'll put your logo, you'll put your company name, but it's a slide deck to essentially sell the LiveList. It's to whitelist our product, the Vincere LiveList, as your own and sell that to your client. We've got a quick tour video, which essentially is a video designed not for you guys, it's our clients, designed for your clients, which again is all about selling the feature, not just selling it, enabling, so showing the client where to click and basically what we've just done. But your clients aren't going to join a half an hour Vincere webinar, they need it in a 2 or 3 minute video. And so there'll also be a really, really slick branded video. There'll be an email template ready to go. So again, really designed to sell and show I guess, a call to action to your client of why should I open this green button? What's in it for me? So that's what the email template will help illustrate. And then finally, a LinkedIn announcement. So we've created some copy for you, which again, you can edit and you can configure for your brand, just to launch this service, this new service to your clients. Some of our customers that do this really, really well with the live list is they charge more for it. It's a premium service. They've got their clients on retainer. It's a premium offering. So hopefully these 4 these tool materials here will allow you to, or help you to position it to your client and not just kind of sit there like, that's a great webinar, what do we do next? Hopefully this will give you the baton to move on next.
Yeah, it's like, you know, work with us exclusively, this is what you'll get. And so that's a real, it's going to be very tempting for them, very difficult for them to say no to.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, please let us know your feedback on this. It's the first time we're trying kind of giving a toolkit out after a webinar. If it goes down well, with you guys and your clients, we'll do more. You know, when we talk about the digital, when we talk about Vinneo, when we talk about all these features, we'll try and give you a toolkit afterwards. So yeah, please let us know your feedback. Again, any questions, guys, in the chat, feel free to pop them in. I think, Donna, did we keep it to 20 minutes? I don't think we did we?
No, it was half an hour. It was half an hour. We went off on one, didn't we? But to be honest, I had to do a bit of fill-in while you were sorting your Vinneo out.
Yeah. True.
So same drill, guys. If you like the webinars, and you know, they are very useful. We find that people get very engaged in these. The feedback is that they use them as kind of mini training sessions. So if you do like them, you know where to go, vincere.io/webinars, where you'll find these webinars on demand.
Absolutely, and they're all free. There's no such thing as a free lunch unless you're a Vincere customer. They're all absolutely free, and they'll continue to be free. So please join. And then that's it, guys. Thank you for joining. Hope you found it useful. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn and the various social media networks. We'll stick about for any final questions, but hopefully you enjoyed the Matt and Donna show for like the 7th or 8th time we've done this now.
It's been a pleasure. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining and have an awesome rest of the day. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.